Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. We got another fun episode of Mork Borg 40,000. What a fun little RPG that we played. Joining me today, we got our lovely Game Master, GM, Dungeon Daddy, Court.
Hello, yes. Lovingly referred to as Dungeon Daddy now, which is great. Yes, so very excited to be here.
Yeah, and I just wonder if that carries on into like real life, like how does it carry on into other conversation? How far we can take this daddy situation for you?
As far as you guys want, it's fine by me.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
We also got joining us, Christian. Yo.
Hey. I'm also known as a dungeon master in my regular day job.
Yeah, very
You want to
different.
guess what that is?
Situation.
It's a different kind of dungeon, but
Yeah.
oddly the same people.
Family man, father of 10 over there in his dungeons. We also got joining us today. We got Gerald. Hey.
Hello, and I also brought Leonard.
Yes.
Good. Yeah, okay, fucking tight. Yeah, so today is gonna be oftentimes people do a session 0 when doing role-playing games. And basically a session 0 is beforehand you get together, you discuss what rulebook you're going to play from, you make some characters, you come up with your backstory, you kind of do all those back-end logistics. But in this episode, I'm going to do the back end of it. So not a session 0, but like a session end, where we're going to kind of recap what we went on our little adventure, kind of give some closure to a couple characters. One thing I've always wondered about is, like, what did we miss? So maybe some secrets will be revealed to us there. Like, how many teeth could we have collected? Court will know the answer. I'm sure he will have the answer for us. But yeah, we're just going to kind of have some fun talking about that, talk about some highlights and stuff in this episode. We're also going to talk about just like casual role-playing. Like, how do you do it? Why do you do it? That's been asked by my wife of me a couple times lately. So... We'll find out why. Just gonna give some GM cheat sheets, whatever. Pretty casual episode today. Today, we're not really going to be role-playing. We're going to save that. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be the opposite of a session 0, kind of an end capper.
Yeah. Do we want to do some housekeeping first? Just plug the things?
Yeah, let's do that. If you want merch, you can go to Redbubble. Redbubble will sell you t-shirts. It will sell you, if you want t-shirts for the Paradise Reef Airbnb that I run, you can go there too. You can buy those t-shirts. I got a couple. They're pretty fucking tight. You want to dress like me on the regular, you can buy one Paradise Reef t-shirt, one Lorehammer t-shirt, and then you pretty much wear what I wear every day. So get after it.
Is the Christian body pillow available yet?
Yeah, but that
stock so fast.
We can't keep it up to date, but that you have to go through the OnlyFans, so the process of getting that's a little different.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
We also got a Discord. It's a lot of fun. You can come join. If you message anywhere, you get like an automatic Discord link sent to you. So if you can't find it, just shoot me a message on Facebook and messages will get shot back to you. But Discord's a lot of fun. We got the Imperial Tide channel for our Patreon members. You can go in there, kind of keep up to date with what's happening. You'll get informed when we do our live stream, so you can come and join the chat. As we can see, there's a couple people hopping in here and saying hello, everyone. Yeah, I don't want to read some of these. I was just scrolling and I read, you get spanked by the DM. I'm like, do I want to read the context of that one? I
think you all got spanked by the DM at some point in our little adventure.
Oh man, what an adventure it was. I think it was truly like a classic murder hobo adventure.
It was I would say you guys had a little more integrity than the standard murder hobo vibe, but and just let me disclaimer this, like if you, whoever's listening or watching or whatnot, if you guys haven't listened to the first 2 Mork Bork 40K episodes where we actually play the session, we go through the adventure, please give it a listen. It was a lot of fun. It was great. This is going to recap a lot of that stuff, so spoiler warning if you just want to kind of hear how the adventure went. But we will be going through some fun session Z, session 0 or whatever, not 0, session like 100 really, like you said, but some fun
Yeah,
things.
I still
Yeah.
couldn't
I
like
don't
come
know.
up with a good term for that either.
Yeah, yeah.
One.
Session end. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like one of the things about RPGs, man, you can come up with such memorable moments, and it's all just like that spontaneous, like collaborative effort. So I don't know, we're humans, we're communal creatures. There's something special when we all create something with our imagination together. I kind of wrote down the story in the way I remembered it happening, a couple of little quick highlight points. And I think we came in strong with just like, we started in this cell. You wake up in a dark dungeon. You don't know who everyone else is. You're cold, naked, and alone. You find out you're missing a hand. Classic dungeon shenanigans. But Daru kind of tried to do a prison uprising, and that would have been great. But
Yeah,
you
started trying to derail the campaign right away.
Right off the bat. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I was worried if that's how it was going to go the whole time. Like, I don't never really play with you, but
I was honestly just playing to my character. Like,
Yeah.
I saw I had a lock picking skill and lock picks, and I'm like, my guy would genuinely try to escape. That's something he would try to do.
Yeah.
And the minute he gets caught, he would also throw himself on the ground and beg for mercy immediately as well.
like the sniveling wretch he is.
Absolutely.
And then when you're down on your knees, you're probably stealing their shoelaces or something. Like,
Yeah. So just, I think for a fun little recap, we can just kind of talk about how we set the scene, like what the story was, and then we can go into kind of the reviewing the events and stuff. So essentially, I will say, like, I felt like setting the scene is one of the hardest things. Like, it is a very difficult thing to really get into, find the pace. So I feel like in the beginning, I was like, oh, I think we're getting a little too much detail. I don't know what's going on. So I felt like there was a little struggle on my part to get everything properly set, but also moving. There's a very daunting task, I think, of getting everything detailed, throwing everybody right into the world, but not giving a lack of information where you don't know what's happening, and then also not giving too much information where it's like, okay, so we'll just go here then,
and you gotta like put like that one important piece of information of like, what are you trying to get the characters to actually do? Like, what is the option? Like, like sometimes if you leave it too open, the characters are like, what, we need a little direction.
Yeah. And I think I was trying to find the balance of, like, I was experimenting a little bit, like, do I say what these things are, or do I just like kind of leave it vague? Like, I could say that this person was a psyker, or I could just like leave it kind of like, I'm hinting that they're a psyker. So yeah, you guys were basically incarcerated. You'd been imprisoned for heretical theft, and you guys played some great, like, gutter-born hive scum, city-dwelling folk, kind of, no one really super special, and we're given one last chance at salvation by going to collect information and research at a mining facility, like a refinery, more specifically. And because they'd lost contact, the governess had lost contact with the refinery, and that refinery was crucial to getting their imperial tithe to set to standards. So yeah, you guys were basically given one last chance to live by going to figure out what the hell happened to Daxon Carr, who was kind of the lead operations manager there. There was a little rumor of maybe some uprising with chaos cultists.
Just a little uprising.
So, yeah.
You kind of know right away you're going into like, oh yeah, okay, this isn't going to end well for us. Like,
yeah, this isn't like, okay, we need you to go get a ton of guns and hunt some people down. No, it's like, you're going to collect information, and if you survive, then maybe we'll set you free.
Yeah. And if you die, then I know something went wrong.
Yeah. And I think you guys had like 48 hours or something. Like, you had 2 days to complete this.
I do think there's a bit of a charm too to playing that kind of gutter scum, like nobody's, a lot of times with like fantasy and RPGs, people all want to be the special person or the hero or, the chosen one. But sometimes it's fun just to be like, I'm just a regular dude, or even I'm a bad dude.
Yeah.
And let's see how this goes. Let's see how this story unfolds, playing this type of archetype rather than the noble hero who, will complete the quest in the end. And
yeah, there's a couple moments where all our characters could have done the right thing and then they didn't.
Yeah. And if you're into that, and we haven't mentioned it in this episode, but we mentioned it heavily in the previous two with the session, is this was Mork Borg. So this is based on the Mork Borg system, which if you are into the just like be a fucking basket case, shitty person, like scummy, kind of like you may be trying to do the good thing, but you're horrifically scarred and terrifying and you worship horrible things. Mork Borg is for you. Like you are not playing the paladin who is going to save humanity and defeat evil. You're probably playing as like some occult herb master, like Gerald was, who is going to brew potions, sip them, and see what the fuck happens.
Yeah.
So Mork Borg lends itself to be that flavor.
Yeah, that's definitely fun. Like, even though we're all kind of these wacky, zany characters, I think we did a good job of not going wild, like not separating the group or not like just one person. Well, I'm doing my thing no matter what. And then that sometimes there's being stubborn and just like, okay, well, yeah, I know your character would do that, but can you not also,
it stops being fun.
Yes. Yeah. So, well, I was going to say, why don't you guys just kind of remind listeners of your character, and then I would say I wrote a little bit of just a tinge of like kind of secret, fun character information that you guys could choose to play in or not. So, like maybe we just go around, start with you, Mark. Like who were you guys, and like what were you about?
So I was Harleth, a Hive City ganger. I'm just pulling it up here. Okay, the Hive Mind Hermit. You wandered memoryless from the mouth of a cavern at the cliffs of Tehran. The grate of your sewer is one with the stars, silence and perfection. Now the chaos of a fallen world disturbs your rituals, and the call of night grows blacker than your cavern gloom. Irritating. Shrewd and wasteful, one hand replaced with a rusting hook. Best friend is a large, mutated roach you found sleeping in your hair one night. And then the special role I was given was Bard of the Forthcoming. You learned your melodies in dreams that plague you at night, a connection to an unknown mind, millions and yet one. The choral melodies bestowed upon you gives you, and then it just gives me some fucking rules.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, like you were talking about, do I say Psyker? Do I say he's a Gene Stealer cultist? Or like, do we say Tyrannid? Where do we say that?
Right. Yeah. That's what I wanted for you, was like a little bit of the, you don't, again, like we don't want to say like you're a Gene Stealer cultist, but like you don't really know that, but you know that there's something out there that's calling you, and like, maybe this four-armed god is kind of looming in your mind. So
I was really excited to play with that little Nid Roach, but then the lead hero of the character revealed himself, the lead character of the story, Leonard. And I'm like, the Roach and Leonard are kind of the same vibe and character mechanism. So I'll let Leonard's far superior than Nid Roach. So I kind of just like let it go.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Leonard, Torval. Tell us about Leonard.
Okay, so I think in my introduction, I just mentioned that he was from a place called the Sakarsh Dark, and he was just very eccentric about brewing potions, and that he wore a gas mask to hide his face. But here's the actual description. Raised in calm isolation in the Sakarsh Dark, born of the mushroom, raised in the glade, watched by the eye of the moon in the silver black pool. Loudmouth and egocentric, rotting face, wearing a mask. Best friend is a skull. Carry it with you. Tell it everything. You trust no one more. Secretly seeking the love and admiration of a nameless and fatherly God, one who promises gifts of life, undeath, and rotted beauty. So, that was the information I left out. and hence the Emperor Palpatine voice and the very thinly veiled "Blessed be the Grand Emperor," and then of course his eventual fall to Nurgle. Because I figured he's gonna have to either betray the party or fall to Nurgle at some point, and then so yeah, just kind of went from there.
That was great.
So, like not to jump the gun, but like you feel like your character kind of accomplished his mission then, even though like he didn't, like
he didn't accomplish the Imperium's mission.
Yeah, exactly.
He did go out on his own terms in the arms of Nurgle. So
yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
and Daru.
Yeah, so my guy was a little actually more, I guess, neutral. Definitely, my class was Hive City Scum, which pretty well describes my character, but I didn't have any kind of hidden motives or allegiances. His descripting paragraph is: as a child, you were raised by a gang in the gutters of Necromunda. An ill star smiled upon your birth. Poverty, crime, and bad parenting didn't help either. In your community, an honest day's work was never an option. Not that you ever tried. What are you, some kind of factory puppet? A razor blade and a moonless night are worth a week of chump work. So, yeah, just like a scummy underhiver. And I think in the first episode, I described him as looking something like, the weapon I come with is a femur, which kind of reminded me of House Cawdor. They have like a bone knife that is like an impromptu weapon there. Obviously not as religiously zealous as Cawdor gangers, but definitely, typical, scumbag. My special abilities were stealthy and filthy fingersmith, which is kind of like a lock picking ability. And yeah, so pretty neutral as far as like ulterior allegiances go.
Yeah. Like with Gerald and with mine, there was like a very clear direction we could have gone with our character, because we didn't make these characters. They were there's 5 characters that Court made and we got to choose. So yeah, it was kind of fun doing it that way, where we didn't choose these guys, so then you get to kind of go with the direction they gave you, or kind of implement a little bit of it or whatever. It was just kind of a fun way of doing it.
Yeah, I think for Christian, your character specifically, like I made that one. It's funny. I made that one with a friend in mind who you guys all kind of like came from other characters that I've played with. Like I changed a decent amount, but like each of your characters was sparked from other friends that I've played with in Mork Bork, like in the Mork Bork versions. But with your character, Christian, was, should have been the very like look out for yourself, scummy, just like don't trust anybody. Of the Imperium, but like you're not with it, but you're not against it in the sense of like some sort of like chaos or uprising. It's just like that is life. That's life. Yeah.
Life is just hard, and
yes,
I'm a scumbag.
Yeah. So just to kind of push the story, then you guys went to Outpost 31, which was the refinery. If anybody understood that reference, again, hats off to you. So Outpost 31 is the main scientific research outpost in the movie The Thing with Kurt Russell. So I wanted this to be a little bit Thing-ish in the sense that you guys are going to figure something out, like almost like the Norwegian camp in the movie. You don't know what's going on. Like they found something in the ice, all that. So, excuse me. Yeah.
There's a couple great moments where, you're just like teasing just little bits where, just teasing little bits of this mystery that we're slowly putting together, where we walked down and we came into this kind of like mystical, tranquil area. And there's like these weird butterfly creatures, like, you get this sense of unease, and then you go further and you see like a stone portal that just looks ancient and gives you like a weird vibe. Like, you did a great job of coming up with these little things to kind of like just lure us in a little bit.
Well, I appreciate
that whole backdrop was making me think of like the very first Dead Space, where you're going into certain ships of the USG Ishimura, and everything is dead, but there's a bunch of candlelights just around the room, and then you see bodies just piled up in the corners, waiting for the necromorphs to come in and just add to their number.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like I feel like there could have been a point where like we came across a computer and we could have watched what happened or whatever. But like I feel like he did such a good job describing up till then that we all kind of got the vibe of what happened. You know, we didn't even bother going back and looking at the recordings or nothing like that.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would have let you that way. I mean, I didn't want to give it to too much information.
Yeah, it was good. Like it was just like teasing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, and again, this specific scenario I can't take credit for completely. It's based on Rot Black Sludge and Mork Bork adventure, which is kind of like the introductory adventure in Mork Bork, but I changed a lot of it as far as like, I mean, it's 40K versus kind of like this dark medieval world. And a lot of the rooms were changed. A lot of the plot was very much changed. So basically the general layout kind of the dungeon was similar, but things switched around. So
like even if you know all the dungeon and stuff, like you still have to say the words to describe it. So
yeah. So yeah, you guys went in, and then the first thing the first main room besides like the landing was a big moment for you guys, because I think Harleth, that's where you kind of gained your sainthood.
Yeah, we came into this room and there was like a big stone table with a bunch of like empty plates, I think, but it smelled like rotting meat. And at the table there was like a robed figure, like clearly a servitor. But once again, you didn't use that term, which I loved, man. Yeah, and he was missing his arms, missing his legs, and most importantly, missing his teeth.
Yes. So, yeah, we'll go into the teeth thing a little bit. We'll let that hang for a moment because there is a thing there. But tell us a little bit about your sainthood.
Yeah, so we came into this room, what the heck, and then we start looking around, and eventually some cultists came in, and they attack us, and then we attacked back, and I think I attacked and I missed horribly, and then I used one of these blessings of the Emperor, and I re-rolled way better, and then it worked. I don't even remember what it was, to be honest.
I think you were like about to die. Like, I think there was something you were nearly about to die, and you saved it.
Yeah. I got hit. That's what happened. You're right. So I got hit, and I did die. So then I re-rolled my damage, and I survived. So I came back to life as an Imperial Saint, essentially.
So how do you justify that being both a tyrannid infested person and also being blessed by the Emperor? How do you square that whole?
Man, the four-armed Emperor works in mysterious ways. Who am I to say his ways? That was pretty fun though. Like that was a good moment for sure. Just coming back, and then the chat's like, "Oh yeah, he's a saint now." The combat was pretty fun. It seemed very dangerous. Like all of a sudden, like you got hit once, you're like, oh shit.
Yes, combat in that system is very much like there's no. So the enemies are not rolling to hit you. They hit you unless you dodge. Like they're not trying to make an attack roll. It's literally like they're swinging. Can you get out of the way? No? Okay, you're taking damage. Do you have armor? Okay, we can reduce a little bit, but you're going to get hit. Like you're going to get whacked. You guys did pretty good.
A few times. And then a few times more. But so we dealt with those two cultists. We were able to wrestle them to the ground. Leonard took one out masterfully by getting lobbed across the room at the back of the guy's head.
Yeah, that was awesome. Boom. I think you rolled like a nat 20 on that one or something like that. It was a really high roll to hit him in the back of the head.
Yeah, classic. It's funny how Leonard just kind of became this thing. We didn't want to go down into the room, so we just like, well, fucking throw the skull down. He's brave enough, I guess.
Yeah, that was good.
It's hilarious how he became the fan favorite in the chat, but then the chat kind of got a little crazy with what they were saying Torval was doing with the skull.
Yeah. Imaginations run wild.
Yes,
they do.
Bound to. Yeah, so then Torval, he had a pretty fun moment too of making potions and just making this poor cultist suffer. Well, do you remember what potion you made?
That's what he gets for hitting me in the stomach. Thankfully, my dude was like really tough with like a toughness of +3, and he had the padded cloth armor. So yeah, I think it was the guy that actually hit me. So we tied him up with my chain, and I brewed up. I can tell you because I got the thing here. It was. Where is it?
Yeah, and Torval.
Okay, so the Southern Frog Stew.
Yes.
Yeah, just made a mess from all ends. That poor guy.
Your character, Gerald, was kind of heavily influenced by my friend Tyler's character, who was an occult herb master, and he did the same thing. He like brewed it in I think he had a skull and like would force people to like kind of like almost like chloroform them. But yeah, tell us a little bit about like what you brewed up and what happened to this new cultist.
So originally I had read the rules wrong, because the rules as stated for the portable laboratory, you carry a portable laboratory and continuously search for frequently expended ingredients. Daily, you have the materials to create 2 randomly determined concoctions and can brew a total of D4 doses. If unused, they lose vitality after 24 hours. My dumbass misread that was you can just brew whichever 2 you can brew whichever 2 that you wanted to do as long as you pass the D12 test. So I had brewed 1 potion to help Harleth see in the dark when we entered the facility. And then I brewed the Southern Frog Stew to basically just force the cultist to just puke his guts out for, I think I rolled for like 3 hours as payback for attacking us and then hitting me in the gut with his weapon. So,
yeah.
And Torval was just being petty.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't remember if I had realized that you had chosen instead of random, but either way, like it served the story way better to do what you did. Like it wouldn't have been as fun, the random thing, because like, what if, I mean, and maybe it would have been funny, but like, what if you accidentally brewed the vomit potion and gave it to Harleth in the dark? And he's just like vomiting the entire fucking adventure. Like,
man,
it's funny, but it's disabling. Like it's really disabling for that character. So I think the choice to brew initially was good, and I mean, it makes sense story wise. Like you would have your materials a little bit, you would know what you could brew, and then along the way, as you pick stuff up, it might be a little more random.
Because near the end, I was looking for some materials and I was able to concoct I was able to randomly concoct a red poison, but then I never got a chance to use it. So,
yeah, like you know, you're playing a game, and there are rules, but fuck, sometimes it's fun to fudge them.
Yeah. So to kind of again push things along, you guys went through this refinery, came across some refinery workers that had basically turned cultist.
The voices for those were great, by the way. Like
you
had this like, yes, he comes. Yes.
Yeah. They should be. Man. Yeah, they should be, because so good. We'll get into like kind of the backstory of everything, but like you guys went in there, found some prisoners, and those prisoners just happened to be missing all of their teeth. They had all their teeth ripped out. And if
I like it,
if you guys, there's a few things which we'll do spoilers and stuff, but like there's some things that not necessarily that you missed, but like you chose not to free them. And that would have been I think a big changing moment. But, and then Daru, I remember, went up into the vent, and there was like chains hanging everywhere. It was a silent room. Like you couldn't hear anything. That's where the Nurglings were. You got the disc, you accessed the mainframe, like main computer, got the records of like what had happened, just by pressing buttons and fudging it. So, and then from there, you guys basically, kicked some fat green babies, which were the Nurglings, and came upon the chasm which they were drilling. It was like the murky kind of rot black sludge, if you will, and fought a beast of Nurgle, and came upon Dax and Carr, who is now like changed into basically like a plague bearer. And then so why don't we get into a little bit of like that, the kind of ending part, and then we'll basically, I'll give you the entire story of like what was actually going on, and then maybe a little of the things you guys could have done. So at that point, you guys are fighting Dax and Carr and this beast of Nurgle, and then what happens? Because that was the climax.
Yeah, I kind of kept thinking about my character and be like, man, would be so fucking terrified right now. Like, it'd be so hard to run at demons and like, oh man. But you kind of got to, and I did, and it worked out okay for me, I suppose. But it didn't work out well for the other guys.
Yeah, same. Like, I had the same thought process. Like, my guy just wanted to get the hell out of there. Unfortunately, I was a victim of a flying object that pretty much knocked me down and killed me, led to my death, I should say.
Was it the wrench?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the wrench. Yeah.
And I think I was ahead of the pack. I think I was the first one to make a break for it. If not, I was ahead of everyone at some point. But yeah, that wrench put me down. It hit me. Made some awful rolls to try and recover.
Yeah.
Didn't work out.
Yeah, and then like basically your eyes popped in the end. The last thing you're seeing was just.
Yeah. Essentially, he grabs me, crushes me, and yeah.
Oh man.
That's Nemo forever. Please read that.
Yeah, Nemo forever in the comments says a wrench in your plans. Yes, it was certainly a wrench.
And your plan was just to live, really.
I even for a second there, I tried to like fashion some kind of grappling hook to try and get across this chasm that we had to clear. And again, those terrible rolls. That was kind of my last attempt. I knew we couldn't fight this thing or like survive a fight with this thing. So
yeah.
Yeah, I was curious because like I felt like I was hinting a decent amount, like this sulfur smell, this thing, and I was like, I wonder if you guys are going to try and set it on fire, like and at some point you did, but
I think we lucked into that though. Like I shot fireballs at it, and then it was just a happenstance,
Yeah, you had like the flare, I think. Yeah. But that was a big moment for all three of you guys, and. Yeah, Torval, that was kind of your character arc there, eh?
Basically. Well, yeah, because like the beast of Nurgle like popped out of the sludge. I was the first one grabbed, and so I'm desperately trying to escape, and that's where like you had mentioned like you felt the influence of just like that welcoming, come join us, and so I think like I figured I'd play it. I figured knowing his backstory, like the seeking the blessing of Nurgle, like I figured, okay, this is where the fall of Nurgle is going to start.
Yeah.
And then so the whole thing, I was just very conflicted. And then of course the beast just knocked me up against the wall and knocked me down to like 1 HP left. So I was basically on the verge of dying anyways. And then Daru had got knocked out with the wrench in his plans. And against my better judgment, I just stopped to try and help him up. And that, of course, did neither of us any good. So
yeah,
when he had his dying moment, that's when the blessed be the grandfather finally came about.
Yeah. Christian got ripped in half. Torval sacrificed himself. I mean, out of selfishness, you thought that Dax and Carr was just not worthy of Father Nurgle's gifts. You're like, fuck.
Oh, and this was after he sacrificed Leonard to the beast of Nurgle, which I guess slowed it down just enough so it would finally burn to death.
Yeah. And then Harleth is like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Yeah, I just ran. And like I didn't have the computer data, like Christian's character had that, so I just left. I seen people die, and I just broke and I left, and I ran like a coward, and I ran till my legs didn't stop. Couldn't run no more.
Yeah,
but
good.
yeah, like that's how we kind of ended it. Two guys just died, left them, and I ran out into the wilds.
So essentially, Outpost 31 had drilled to the point where they basically uncovered some sort of like mini garden of Nurgle kind of thing, and out came a beast of Nurgle. But before that, they'd kind of heard this weird groaning, chanting kind of thing, and so all of them started like dreaming of this beast and the blessings of Nurgle, and becoming kind of insane before it even happens. Once that gross green slime kind of came to the surface and they were like mining for it, they like became obsessed with it. And Dax and Carr, who was in charge of the operation, like pledged himself to Nurgle, like through his dreams, like was just like, yes, this is the way. Like I've served on the Imperium too long. This will be it. And basically succumbs to the ways of chaos, and like wants to bring this beast of Nurgle to the surface, and like eventually does. And then those that did not pledge themselves became prisoners. And so Dax and Carr, when you guys saw him, he had a tooth necklace. Like someone said, it was like the popcorn string, right? of Christmas kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, literally that. And so he had removed all the teeth from the non-believers and was going to sacrifice them. So whenever you guys met somebody that was, like a prisoner, boom, teeth, all of them gone. And he just collected all of them. And realistically, that was just because the chat, the listeners, all that have gone crazy with the idea that I collect my friend's teeth. So I was like, I fucking have to throw that in there. It's a way of life.
It's a way of life. Exactly.
So I wanted that to be, and like you guys found some teeth at some point, and
we fed the one guy teeth. I don't know who did that, but somebody fed the servitor teeth.
Yeah,
Torval just picked up like some random teeth he found on the floor, put it on the plate, and then the guy just
Yep.
Yikes. Yeah, no. Yikes.
So
like it didn't have to make sense. It was like fucking like, why? Like how did, like, I hated it, but I loved it. It was so perfect. I don't need to know what he's doing with those teeth. I know it's wrong.
Yeah. So you guys were successful and failed. I would say in the eyes of the Imperium, you were successful because you brought an end to what was happening there. In the eyes of your own
victory.
Yeah, horrific victory. In the eyes of your own salvation, you guys are fucked. Like done. Yeah. So
I just wonder what happened to Harleth. So he runs out into the wild, and he could have been an Imperial Saint, but instead he probably just crawled into the same hole he crawled out of, and he either died there 10 years later or probably got hunted down and killed right away.
Well, we can keep him and see what happens. I mean, I wanted to leave it a little bit because, like, cliffhangery, because the last thing you see is like this stream, like this comet, some sort of light source, something slams into the Earth or to this planet miles away. You see it coming down and streaming down. So, is it a drop pod? Is it some sort of
Explorer?
That's what I was like. Is it my set Explorer? Is it the Imperium? Is it Chaos? I don't know. But either way, we'll leave it there. So,
interesting.
Yeah. But
okay.
Do we want to talk about things that you guys could have done, or
like what do you think we missed doing that you wish we would have which door number 2 should we have gone behind?
So I have the map. This is the Mork Borg map that I rewrote in different ways, but like you guys missed all of this other side here. So this was rearranged a little bit. This is just kind of the cheat sheet, but I had rewritten everything on a document. But you guys basically went through this side and missed a lot of this other side, because there were 2 doors that you kind of chose to go A or B, and you chose A. And so you're like, all right, we're going there. And so there was another subplot of, if you were to go west and kind of climb through this like dig site, it would have led you out into this like greenhouse that they would use for growing vegetables or whatever they could in order to harvest stuff. But in there you would have basically been met with a small group of hooded figures, cultists, but these cultists were led by one singular woman who has 3 arms and has like is bald and has kind of a bulbous head, and would offer you guys like to sit by the fire and food and drink and all this and that. And yeah, she was a fucking gene stealer cultist. But yeah, there was that you guys would have, if you had like drank from the soup and stuff she was going to give you, you guys were going to like start fucking tripping balls, and then they were going to start trying to stab you and sacrifice you.
Okay. So not good behind door number 2.
There's no good behind any door in this. Like this, you're not going to get met with like, this is the puppy room. This is the puppy room.
That's why we always throw
with all the beer
first.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, so there was that. There was like a long hallway that kind of led to like a pump system, like a cistern room almost, where like that green sludge is kind of coming out of, and you guys could have like collected some of it and whatnot. But there was going to be like a bunch of nurglings and maybe like a cultist that was like a plague bearer at that point, just rotted corpse, kind of animated, coming after you. Yeah, there was another room. The first 2 doors that you guys chose when you zigged instead of zagged. If you had zagged, there was a room there with 3 skeletons, like laying on 2 beds, and basically, and like a chaos scroll that you could have accessed. And if you had touched it, yep, you would have gotten a cool like Zinchian power or something. But those skeletons would have like animated and tried to kill you. So some good, some bad, Yeah,
mixed bag with chaos typically.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you guys didn't miss too much. I think you did really well. And
you said there was at one point we found all those people in the cages. What would have happened if we let them out?
Yeah, the prisoners. So these were the refinery workers that had not pledged themselves and basically were still like Imperial supporters, but they were insane at that point. I mean, not like chaotic insane, but just like had been through so much that they would have just fled or attacked you. And that would have been a little bit of a dice roll to see like who and what happens. But yeah, they would have just run out of there completely and just maybe trampled you on the way out. Not new friends. I mean, maybe if you guys had made an attempt, there's no, like if you guys had made an attempt to like maybe talk some sense into somebody, like slap them in the face.
Oh yeah, Christian starts seducing one of them.
Oh yeah, that was actually a special skill I had, was seduction on my character.
I don't like to say no to things. Like that's not going to happen though. Like if you guys made the attempt, sure, we could try and roll it and see what happens. But
yeah, that does make for a good GM where anything is potentially possible.
Yeah,
within reason,
I think so.
Within reason.
Yeah,
within reason.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that would have been okay. They could have gone either way, I suppose, if we let them out. That's fine. What else was I wondering about? Okay. So when we went into the very last room, it was like a giant cave. It had the black sludge on the bottom, and up top there's like a drill.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you kind of framed it like it could be dropped on something, or was that ever the intention of it? Or
I think you asked, like, does it look like it's connected to something, or could it be accessed in some way? And I had no intention. I just wanted you to see, like, that's the drill site. But again, had you like found a
If we would've
button
went up
or
there,
something,
yeah.
oh fuck yeah, I would have said like fuck yeah, like you can try and disconnect this thing and see if it'll crash down. That would have been hilarious. But it was not my intent. No, I think you kind of came across that.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, yeah, when you're playing these games, like, trying to, find that piece of information that you're trying to lay out for us to do, and not just, like, make up completely new information, and just, like, work together with it, but, yeah.
Well, why don't let's highlight Alpha Primus's comment here, the last one, because I think that brings up a good point. And I'm sorry, the one. Not the, we'll address it. The statue is the statue was of the Emperor. By the way, we'll just say that. So, but yeah, so he says you just needed evidence, right, of like what had happened at Outpost 31. I know you wanted to explore the story, I think is what they were typing, story. But arguably, as soon as there was evidence, you could have just returned back the quest giver back to the quest giver at that point. Yes. However, remember, as soon as they got the evidence, as soon as they got the disc, lights went out, and then the sirens ish and the alarms kind of started. So it didn't, and doors closed. Like it didn't matter. Like there was, you could have accessed it and then just ran. It wasn't going to happen. That is the one no. That's like the, hey, you got the disc. Cool. Game over.
Yeah, even if that cultist that we found at the very beginning, we tried to run out then with him, like you would have found a way to stop us from getting out and getting us where, you know, there often for the GM, you give people 2 doors. Mm-hmm. They both lead to the same room, but the players don't know that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So AP, as I'll call you, Alpha Primus AP, I would say you're absolutely right. Like the story could have ended there, but that's no fun. And if you're doing narrative stuff, like you've talked about in the chat, like find a cool way to bring things back. And I think we'll get into a little bit of like how to role play, DM tips and stuff like that. But like, even if all goes to shit, which I'll be honest, like you guys did things that I was like, okay, we're going there. Like I just made it up on spot. I just fucking made it up. And like, fine, we'll just do this. And that's cool. Like have an exit strategy in the sense of not exiting the game, but an exit to a new portion.
Yeah.
And then also if they made it back, wouldn't they be executed for being exposed to chaos? Probably. Fucking probably. Yes. So such as the Imperium, like maybe because I think they said like we'll consider your like salvation or like what, but come on, like at that point, you would have all been fucking killed, I think. So
happy ending for the Imperium.
Yeah. Or you could have, I mean, Torval, if he had really succumbed to chaos at that point, maybe he was harvesting one of like Nurgle's diseases or something and could have infected that planet at that point a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Possibilities are endless.
Yeah. And who's to say, you know, characters or Christian's character Daru would even allow himself to be captured? Like he's gonna start slitting throats left and right.
I definitely would have again, you know, like I'm a survivalist. I'm not, you know, pro Imperium, let's say, but the minute stuff gets weird or freaky, just knowing my character, he would start trying to survive. If that means killing the people around him, then he feels like it's going in a weird direction, he would definitely try, or at least try to get away.
Yeah.
So
another great question from Alpha Primus. Yeah, read that one, Mark.
How would the Nidroach added to the narrative if they made it to the Gene Stealers? So we make it on that other road we didn't get to, and we got to the chick drinking the punch.
That's a good point. I think it would have depended how you handle the situation, Harleth. Like, would they recognize you as having some sort of like, you know, gene stealer DNA kind of, maybe, you know, maybe you would have felt like a little bit of like brotherhood to this cult. With the Nidroach specifically, I think there would have maybe been like like a you're not worthy to have this. We must take this from you. This
Oh,
is
no.
proof of our God. And so maybe there would have been a little like kind of a fight there, you know.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
that would be
being your
great
best friend, like your little like you're not going to let that happen. So because we don't want
Yeah.
everything to be like, yay, Gene Stealer meet Gene Stealer, yay, this is good. No, fuck it. Like you're still going to fight. You're going to clash. So
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that Nidroach, I was looking forward to it, but yeah, Leonard was just so much better. So I just went with that, you know?
Mm. Yeah, I liked it. I think we could bring that out at another time too. The Nid Roach is good. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. What else? Do we want to go to the next little portion here?
yeah.
Kind of how to role play. Like this was kind of the first for some of you, or kind of the more drawn out one. Yeah, role playing is interesting because you're playing together with a bunch of people, and it is a team game. Even the GM, you're all on the same team. You're all trying to have fun, and you're all trying to tell a story. And I think usually when playing these games, when I'm like playing my character, yeah, I try to play the character, but I also try to think like, how do I progress the story? I always feel like, yeah, that's important. You got to try to
Mhm.
always keep the story going forward. You're working together, and sometimes it's like you almost got to like push other people to go forward too. So it's not even just you always going, but yeah, you almost need like a leader in the beginning to kind of get the group going in a direction to focus them. I don't feel like we really had one this time. We mentioned Leonard, but didn't really count. He wasn't really driving us anywhere, you know.
I think that's a good point to have. Is sometimes you see a leader emerge in a DM or an RPG group. The thing to be careful with that is that you don't want somebody quarterbacking. So what you don't want is somebody that's going to take charge and say, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, I'm going to go here. Ready? Go. Like that
Yeah.
happens all too often in board games I see. And one thing that's nice about 40K is you're 1v1. So you don't have that like that team kind of effort. But I see it playing board games and card games all the time where someone's like, this is how we win and we're going to do it. That
Yeah.
it's not fun. Like, so I think it is important to have somebody kind of like, hey, I think we should go this way, like suggest, but don't
Yeah.
don't always like, guys, we're going there, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Suggest for sure. That's a good way of doing it. Yeah, like it's that fine balance where, like, yeah, you need driving factor, but you don't want to control other people. One of the best things about role playing is when the two characters, you know, make enemies of each other, but they still got to get along at the end of the day, you know, and
Mhm.
that can create some fun conflict. And yeah, they may kick their boots up over little things that are like irrelevant, and that's how they kind of blow off steam. Like, yeah, okay, they fart under the bed sheets at night, and that's how they piss off that guy. But like. Yeah, like creating a little bit of drama that can be a lot of fun. So even though like yeah, you are playing that team game, you can still like play into each other that way and
Mhm.
create conflict and stuff.
I think
Yeah,
you
other
guys did a good
things.
job of that. I think there was, I mean, there was no like buddy, but there was like a, we're going to survive together. You know, we're going to help each other survive as much as we need it. You know, I think that was good.
Yeah, I was worried at first like that these characters being kind of not really drawn by any common purpose or any common ideology or anything like that. Really, the common cause is we're all just criminals, you know.
Mhm.
But I was worried that there was going to get some like derailment, or people would just be not willing to work with each other. But we all kind of just got the gist. Like even like the antisocial character kind of just still did what he had to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
One of the common pitfalls I find for character generations, especially people's first character, is they try to make this like cool, lone, like Aragorn Ranger type character, you know?
Yeah.
The loner, the classic guy, he doesn't need anyone.
Mhm.
But that guy sucks to play with. He sucks to play with or play as. Like you end up kind of building a character that doesn't interact with people because he's too busy being antisocial. So this was fun doing this, where even though we had these kind of antisocial characters, we all very much were still like playing along with each other and like
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing to be aware of, like when you're making characters, is like, yeah, if you are going to do these antisocial ones, you still got to engage. Otherwise, it just is you end up getting skipped essentially.
Yeah,
It's all part of that social contract that us as players kind of have, so we can actually have fun doing this. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Social contract. That's a good way to really put that, Gerald. I think that's kind of what session 0 should be as well. Like we talked about a session 0 of like creating characters, setting the world, figuring out what's kind of going on, but like also laying down a little bit of like, here's what we expect as far as PCs, player characters is what we expect to see from you guys, involvement wise. So yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, and you can go into two other things, like what kind of game are we playing? Are we doing like a combat game? Do you guys just want to do role playing? Are we doing like a mystery game? Like you can kind of set the flavor of the game then, and that tone, and then everyone can kind of lean into it a little bit better. It was interesting doing this one. We knew it was going to be a one-off, and it turned into two. But knowing that, like, you kind of you play the character almost a little bit differently than if you were to play like a long, drawn-out 100 mission campaign. You're a little less attached to the character, get a little more frivolous with them,
take more risks.
Yeah. So it's fun kind of doing that session 0, and like, you can lay out like, what are we actually up to, what are we trying to accomplish, what's the kind of, how long are we going to be doing this, all those kind of fun little things that it sounds weird to set up, but like it does really help a lot, and kind of just drawing everyone together on the same page.
You touched upon something, Mark, I think is definitely worth talking about. Like, is this going to be a combat heavy scenario? Is it going to be just a role play heavy scenario? Is it a mystery? Let me ask you guys this, and then I'll kind of comment as well. Would you rather know ahead of time? Like, and there's no wrong answer. I want to state there's no wrong answer. Would you rather know, yes, all right, we're playing this tonight and it's combat heavy as fuck, so get those dice ready. Oh, we're playing this, like, I got to get in character. We're all going to be interacting. We really need to be like, zenned out in our character. That's what we're going to go for. Would you guys rather know the flavor kind of what you're going to play ahead of time?
I can only speak for myself. I think everyone, it's almost like genre, right? Like, do you prefer horror movies? Do you prefer action movies? I think for myself, I prefer not to know, because I'm okay playing either way. So letting it kind of naturally unfold. I tend towards combat heavy games anyways, so that might be where I mentally default. Like, I thought we were going to do more fighting, but it does make sense for the story that, like, our guys aren't war heroes. They're not going to be going around mowing down bad guys. Like, even a small fight with a knife is enough to be life threatening.
Yes.
And I do like that. Like, I like the ambiance when it's true to the characters. If we were Space Marines, hell yeah, like, we're going to mow down hundreds of enemies, but we're not. So I think as long as it's true to the character I'm playing, I'm okay with either direction.
Yeah. What about you
I think
guys?
it's kind of me too.
Yeah.
Because I can do either or. Maybe just a tad bit more on the role play side of things, because that's easier for me to, okay, this is the character I'm playing. This is how this is how I have to act. This is the voice I got to give them or whatnot. And then just playing off of how the other players kind of react to that. And then, but with the combat, it's, I'm fine with that either way, as long as I have a basic understanding of the rules, which admittedly I'm a little bit slower to figure that part out. So
cool. Yeah.
I think for me, my answer would be like, if it's a 1 or 2 off, like if we're not getting attached, like surprise me, like throw me in. Then that's kind of what you did in this. You kind of just threw us into it. But yeah, like if we're planning on doing like, okay, let's try to do a year-long campaign. Like, I think I'd like some more information, some more input into the setting, and a little more kind of background, like then it becomes more of a collaborative effort. Like, we've all probably had a GM where they want to tell you their story, and you're like, I don't want to play My Little Pony with you, Christian. Stop it.
They have a really good campaign, though.
I don't want to, Christian. And like,
it's too combat heavy.
Yeah. So, I think depending on like what you're up to originally, like that would really depend on how much information and how collaborative I would want before we go into it.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And that's, I think you're all on it. Like, again, there's no wrong answer, but I love everything that you guys have said, like to just kind of go with the flow. But I think I like what you're saying, Mark, is that like, if it's a one shot, fuck it, do whatever. Like, that's great. But if I'm invested in a campaign and this is a character that I'm going to be playing for, maybe, my partner, she's been playing a D&D campaign for, oh my God, 5 years now. 5 years.
Wow.
And that same character, like, that's a fucking investment. She has been invested.
I would not play Harleth that long. That would be fun.
Yeah. And so, good point. You want to create a character that you maybe don't care super much about in the sense of like the longevity, if it's like a one shot. But you want to play something that's interesting enough. So I think knowing what you're getting into is good if it's in the sense of like, is this a one shot or is this a campaign? I think that's kind of all you might need to know, really, unless there's a little bit of like a lead up that, if you're session zeroing something like, hey guys, you're going to explore da 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 da. Now create your character, and you can kind of go into that and kind of create based on the story. But I don't know. I think there's no wrong answer. If you want to play the meta and you want to play like a fucking meta'd out character that can do everything, fine, whatever. But
I've played a couple characters like that too, where I wrote the rules and then wrote the backstory, where it's like, that's filthy, but here we go.
Sure. And I forget where I heard it. If it was, I truly, it might have been on Lorehammer years and years ago. But there's the saying, if you're good at everything, you're interesting at nothing. Like, so the flaws of a character make the character.
Yeah.
Like that. So lean into that too.
Yeah. Christian kind of mentioned earlier, like that first character being like a Mary Sue can do everything type character. Where it's like, you fall into that kind of thing where, that just isn't fun. Yeah. There's no flaws. There's no like, should I do the right thing? Or like, there's just no conflict. There's no chaos there. Yeah.
Yeah. You need conflict. That's what makes a story. So,
staying in character, I do like Harleth because it was an easy accent to put on. And staying in character, I will usually come up with a catchphrase that I can repeat a couple times. I gotta, with Harleth, it's like, well, I reckon, or just something like, well, like you can kind of just really then get into that character with one or two quick words, and then it buys you time even to just start whatever you're gonna actually say. So there's a good little trick there for keeping in character and just trying to like, well, what's your catch line? What's your tagline? How do you get into it?
I love that. That's such a great idea to have some sort of, not catchphrase, but like something that...
It's a filler word.
It's a filler word that puts you right in.
Yeah, like if I was German, my well would be very different. It would be, well, what do you think of this? What is it? It'd be, but different little catchphrases that you can kind of just, that one or two words really helps you get into that vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think even just if you're able to describe your character, and not to others, but just to yourself in 3 to 5 words, like, can you understand who that character is?
How would you describe the character of Court in 3 to 5 words?
Emotional, creative,
and teeth.
Teeth, determined, tall, romantic. Yes.
Fucking all right.
Yeah.
Mystery wrapped in an enigma.
yes. Yeah. I will
Gerald,
say. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, please.
Gerald, you're really good at like accents and voices. Do you have any tricks to try to like generate those?
A lot of my decisions on which accents to play are very spur of the moment, but with Torval, when I was reading like the whole description about like the rotting face, the gas mask, the secretly wants Nurgle's blessing, I'm like, this has got to be like some very old, decrepit, like nasty voice. So like at first I was thinking of like, okay, maybe Mortarion, but then that's when I settled on like, I'm just replaying in my mind like every Emperor Palpatine scene I can just remember from heart, and then it's like, and then I'm like, or the scene from The Force Unleashed, you have forgotten your place, Lord Vader, and then that's just what, like, just like what you said with your catchphrase, like that's what locked me in.
Yeah, that's a great tip too. Yeah, if you have a favorite character that you're trying to base it off of and then exaggerate, like we do the Trump voice often on here, where it's just like such an exaggerated, ridiculous Trump voice, where good little way to get into character.
And even trying to, I think comparison is something that's very helpful. Like if you can, we keep talking about like the Palpatine vibe, right? Like, so Gerald, you were probably like channeling that Palpatine vibe when you were talking, making decisions, things like that. If you can kind of hone in on a character that you know pretty well, you can kind of go that way. And it's not copying, but it's more like pushing it that direction. If you're able to go, okay, my character is like, I'm like Colonel Kurtz in Apocalypse Now, so think Colonel Kurtz and be this other character, something like that.
There are different like archetypes you can actually be, and not just like D&D archetypes, but like, the warrior archetype is something that humans fall into, or the builder or whatever. So even if you come up with that as one of your main 5 keywords, like what is my archetype, like what is this character all about, like just simple little one word things can really just build that character out. Like,
yeah, and that's so important too, because and I think we're kind of getting into here is like the common character pitfalls that you put, Mark. The one thing I see a lot, and I see it from a specific friend of mine, is the problem solver. Like the story is a problem to be solved. There is a mystery at foot, and we need X, Y, Z, and then we get the thing and we do it. Yes, but that's not fun. So like, don't try and solve the story. Just play to the story. And like a buddy of mine, he wants his character to be the go-getter. Like, you do this and I'm going to go here. Oh, we're missing this, so we're going to go get it and we're going to do this. And I think that motivation is correct in the sense of accomplishing something. I think the mentality is incorrect in the sense that like you're probably playing against the story and you're just trying to solve it. Like, that's not fun. Like, if you guys knew that, like, oh, yes, we need to go here, and we're just going to beeline it, grab the disc, and then leave, and this guy got in our way, fuck it, we're running around him. Like, that's...
Yeah,
that's
like
lame.
he should go play some Sudoku or whatever, it all just lines up perfectly. Like, you need that, like... You need your characters to make stupid choices. We watch like horror movies and like, how did all these teenage girls keep dying so stupidly? Well, because it makes a hell of a good story. So you got to think like that too when you're playing these RPGs. Like, what are we going to get up to really make this story good? And solving the puzzle doesn't necessarily make a good story.
Right.
Like, it's the goal of the game, but like, that's not how you win the game. I won the game by fleeing off into the wilderness. Torvald won the game by becoming a demon prince. We all have our... Christian never has won a game in his life.
But I am winning at the game of life.
Damn it! Yeah. I just lost the fucking game. Thanks a lot.
Damn it!
I was like on a week, man. I was like on a full week or 2 weeks without thinking of the game. Shit.
I can hear the collective groan of thousands of...
I know.
My life is over.
Ursat's there. You just lost. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah. Don't fucking blame me, Lupercal. That was Christian. That was Christian.
Yeah, like another pitfall is like meta knowledge versus character knowledge. Okay, so you're trying to solve this, and I didn't know that this other character got this clue, but I in person knew, but my character didn't. Using little things like that, like what's behind that door? I don't know, but this other guy knows, so I now instinctually know. Like little things like that can break the game. You got to be aware, like
Or something like, oh,
Yeah.
that's obviously a Nurgling. I know what that is. We defeat
Yeah.
Nurglings by X and Y, right? Like, would your
Exactly.
character know that, or do you know that?
And
And that's why I always ask the question is like meta question. Would we as characters know this particular
Yeah.
thing?
that's great.
Yeah, it's okay to
Yeah.
ask for sure.
Asking questions is the best thing you can do, I think, in role playing. Is would, like you said, Gerald, would my character XYZ? Would we ... Like, I think that's a good way to kind of go about it. Is it's almost like asking permission. Like, hey, is this okay? And the GM can kind of go, no, you wouldn't know that. No, I don't think so. Or help guide you. So yeah, Christian, spot on. Like, that's really like why I didn't want to be like, oh, and you guys find some Nurglings. Like, you don't know to call them that. You don't know what they are. You've never seen them. You've maybe never heard of them. So why would you describe it that way? And then to the listener, or the, in your own mind out of game, like, oh, I know what that fucking is. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be a big thing for sure. Just like, yeah, what do you actually know? You're probably just a filthy hive gang, and you probably don't even know how to count. So
Yeah.
that's the level we're dealing with here. Yeah, I think of all my biggest pet peeves, there's a couple like, yeah, that one's the one that I really gets me. Where it's just like, you don't know that, man. I feel like there's a good example or a good thing to kind of set up storyline. Like, I kind of use that example of behind the door, somebody else found there's a flaming room there. And like, I know that, but my character doesn't. And I decide to go into that room anyways, knowing that there's flames in there. Like, you can still create the story and make things and like kind of compound the failure. And that can make it fun too. How many people are going to walk into this burning room before they realize, it's a burning fucking room?
Right. Yeah. And I think on the opposite end of that too, to play into something that is out of character but funny is questionable too. Like, just to make a funny moment of something, even though your character wouldn't do that, is probably not the best way to role play as well. I mean, unless your game is into that, that's fine. But
like there's definitely serious groups in serious groups.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Like, not everything has to be a funny thing.
Moment.
Yeah.
My Space Marine starts the belly dancing to seduce the Gene Stealer, like that.
Yeah.
It's never happened.
Yeah. And I think that goes with one of the biggest suggestions too that I can give is find the group that's best for you. Find, it may not be your best friends. Like, it may not. I've had some, I'll say, quote unquote, issues with a good friend of mine playing RPGs where he's the solver, like I said, and he just wants to get it done in this. And it's like, that's not fun, man. So find the group that like has the vibe that I think you guys had, which was like, we're on a mission. We're going to do this. We're going to get this done. But like, God damn if it isn't going to be like fucking fun on the way.
Yeah.
So find the group that works best for you.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. And it might not be your friends, and that's fine because you're not playing with them anyways. You're playing with Torval and Dayru, or whatever the fuck his name is,
Life's too short to not play the games you want, man. Like, fuck it. Like, play with the people you love the games you play. Like, oh, fuck, man.
Oh, fuck, man.
Fuck, man. It's just,
okay, let's go to the
life is too short to be playing competitive Settlers of Catan. Unless that's your fucking shit. Unless that's your jam. Life is too short. But hey, man, if you love it, go for it. That's fine. I hosted nationals for a nationals store competition for Settlers of Catan. And my God, I've never seen so many adults bicker in my life. No, he picked up the dice, so his turn is over. He didn't move his piece, so we're done.
This table, I will.
And I was like, "Jeez, it's a." Did you collect the wood to win the game? Fuck.
You just hurt a lot of grown men right now. You know that. Even more than the game, please. So we'll get into some quick tips for the GM, then we'll call this an episode. For the GM, I think your main purpose is you're not playing for yourself. You're playing for your players. like I said before, you can have this cool story about My Little Pony, and if you're forcing it on people that don't want to play that game, you're not a good GM. You're doing it wrong. You want your characters to go away and like have memorable moments. Each character, every session, you want to try to target them and give them that memorable moment. And yeah, you want to tell the story that they're actually interested and involved in, and it's really that simple.
Yeah. I don't think I think, like you said, Mark, you're serving the story, you're serving the players. If you're a GM who wants to create something unique and set a scene and you like seeing other people have fun, and I know that sounds really weird, but like you have fun by organizing, you have fun by seeing other people enjoy, fuck yeah, then you are meant to be a GM. Like I've run narrative campaigns, like 6-week long narrative campaigns. I fucking love that. I don't have to play, I don't have to touch a fucking mini or dice, and I'm having the time of my life watching people go across a 3-foot map that I created and make decisions on their game based on like how they can fuck over other players based on where they're going to take over spots. I love that shit. So yeah, if
spreadsheets,
yes, if you are into,
Are we still playing D&D? Or
yeah, if you're into seeing something unfold that way, then great. But like if you're just into it because like I'm going to control everything and I'm going to make all the decisions, you're not going to be a good GM.
Yeah, the worst word as a GM you can say is no. You can't do that. Like, well, fuck you. We're playing an imaginary game. Let me do this. Like, it might be incredibly difficult. I'll roll that D100. Give me that 1% chance, but let me have it.
If you say no, say but after. No, but ... Like yes and like you had written in the jeez, Christian son of a bitch. Yes, son of a bitch.
No, but spread your cheeks.
Yeah. So yes and or no but. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Fun little thing too as a GM is you are a god of the game. If you want to fudge a dice to make the story better, do it. Don't let your players know. But like, man, I fudged a lot of dice as a GM just to make those critical moments happen when you want them to. Just because then it's about the story, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, unless you're playing with like a really rules heavy RP or like combat game, you don't want to be fudging those dice. Like, you ain't fudging 40k dice rolls. But like, if you're playing a nice friendly narrative, like sometimes that's important to do as a GM.
I certainly didn't do that with you guys when you nearly died a few times.
Yeah. How do I keep these fucking idiots alive?
some of it was like, I think there was a 1 or 2 moments where I was like, no, it is not your time to die yet. This is not the time.
Not yet.
Not yet. I will allow you to die, but not right now. It is not this day. It is not this day.
Confirmed.
Yes. Yeah.
Another important thing is learn your characters. It's as important that you learn your characters as the characters learn their characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you know that they have a little piece of backstory that you can bring forward and draw forward, perfect. Like that's how you make those memorable moments for the characters. Because the characters, they're writing something obviously that they want to share as well. So it's like, yeah, it's an easy give me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the Looper Call just touched on a good point here. They said the closest you should be going to control a campaign is springing in an NPC, non-playable character, to guide the narrative for a period, and mainly that should be used for pushing the story forward, if choices, just for making choices and stuff. Yes, I agree. I think bringing in an NPC to help nudge and guide versus like railroading and be like, no, you can't go there, you must go here. bringing in an NPC is a good way to do that, and a good way
I
to
love that.
kind of encourage other directions.
Yeah, we kind of talked about like how do you know where to go? Did the GM describe enough or whatever? But yeah, that guy can always just kind of be that little pointing hand. And you usually want to make him some type of low ranking. Like if you're playing medieval knights or something, he should be a squire. You know, you don't want him to have authority over the party, but just that nice little like maybe this is what we do, and still give the players the choice.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. And maybe, maybe that would have been one of the prisoners. If you guys were able to talk to somebody, maybe they would have hinted at like the pit, that they were digging in, and maybe they would have hinted that like Daxon has gone crazy. Maybe. So, yeah.
Yeah, not always necessary.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I have here? Come prepared as the GM, but not overly. You can write, and chances are half of what you're writing is not going to get used. What's nice now is with ChatGPT and Chatbot, you can do a lot of the menial writing. Like, I don't need to write what a forest looks like. Chatbot can do that for me. It can write a beautiful looking forest for me that I can then read to my players. I feel like a lot of prep work, depending on your group, will go out the window as soon as you start playing. So that's another interesting thing to kind of get into when you play the game. Like when you do that session 0, like how are we playing this campaign book? Like we did a campaign book. Are we just going off of it? Like what are we up to? So come prepared, but don't come overly prepared because you're just going to find it's not worth it eventually.
Yeah. I think to that point, over preparation is sometimes disappointing because like you said, your PCs may not even touch what you've written, but maybe it's come prepared, but don't have expectations, like just expect people to play and have fun. But be ready if they go a different direction and how you bring them back. Because you want to be prepared, but
I like always pushing myself and trying to like be better. That's fucking gay shit. But role playing and GMing is a skill that if you just practice it, you will become a more descriptive verbal person and you will learn, but you have to do it. So it's kind of one of those things where even just like knowing what to do when your players derail you and where to take them and how to get them back on track. It's kind of one of those things that you can learn how to do it and communicate and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So prepare some. Don't be disappointed if they don't get to it. Railroad them into some things if you need them to, because you can always do that as a GM. 2 doors, 1 room, always a classic.
Yeah.
And I was reading through the Warhammer Fantasy role playing rules book because I do a Saturday D&D session with a group that does I think it's the Enemy and Shadows campaign that we're trying to run, and in the book, like near the end of like the first couple of chapters, like about character creation, it says basically, I'm paraphrasing, at the end of the day, just consult with your GM and use whatever rules in this book you need to help the story along. So it's basically implicitly saying here's the rules to actually run the game, but you don't necessarily have to follow every single one.
Yeah. Play the way you want. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Damn, I had a point that we were talking about. I don't remember.
It'll come back to you, or
it'll come back to me. Yeah.
Like a fart in the wind.
Oh. Let me ask you guys this, because I think visualization is so huge with role-playing games. So 2 questions. 1, do you feel like you guys could visualize where you were and like get the sense of kind of the room? And if not, let me know. But like, do you guys feel like you had a good reference of like where things were, how it looked, how it felt, how it smelled? Could you kind of envision it in your mind's eye?
Yep.
Okay.
Honestly, man, you did a great job. There's a couple times where I got chills up my spine, whether it's the fucking cultist voices or like just like the shock of no teeth out of there. Wasn't expecting no teeth. Like, I think you did great. Yeah, room layouts can always be a little confusing when you're like, okay, so you can go left, straight, right. But I think there's just, unless we had like a actual map up, there's just no way avoiding it. But I think you did great on all the like descriptions and the room variety of like, okay, this one now is full of rotting meat and this one's now full of the slut. Like it just, you were good, man.
Cool.
I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Thank you. Then let me ask you question number 2 is, and I give some of my players, depending on the campaign or one shot itself, the option. Would you have liked to, like, if we were all at a table, let's say we're all at a table, would you have liked to have seen like room by room map? Like, not you, I'm not going to give you the full fucking map, but like I'll cover this, and then as you go, boop, you reveal this. Boop, you reveal this. Like, would you rather have seen like a layout a little bit?
Maybe if we were Space Marines going on like a special operations mission, but it's like we're just a bunch of filthy hobos in this one. Do we even have a pen and paper to keep track of these rooms? So maybe it would be dependent on what we're up to. I would like a map. Typically when it's like combat, I like a map just to keep track of things a little bit better. But no, I don't think you need a map generally.
I do think, depending how big the space is, maps help. Like, if it's a big open forest, there's trees in every direction. Like, a map helps to orient yourself a little bit. If it's going room to room in a small building, like, you can keep track of 2 or 3 doors that you went through. Like for our campaign specifically, that big cavernous room, it might have helped to have a map. That one I struggle a little bit to get an idea of like, okay, like it feels like a dead end, but I know it's not. Like I just need to look around a little more for a way to get around the pit. But like the rooms before that were fine. Like mentally, I could pretty well picture where things were.
Yeah. What about you, Gerald? What do you think?
The descriptions of like each individual room I loved because it really painted a picture of like how things were there. But I think like kind of with Christians, like as far as like orienting myself on like where I am in relation to like the rest of the facility, maybe just like that room by room map idea that you mentioned. But that's just me as a more visual person anyways.
Yeah.
So
I tend to agree. I think laying out a full map and seeing what all the possibilities are is not fun for me. So my favorite board game of all time is Mansions of Madness. It's a Fantasy Flight game. There's 2 editions. I think it's phenomenal. It's basically a Lovecraftian Clue meets dungeon dwelling or like dungeon delving board game. It's fucking phenomenal. But the first edition, you would have the keeper, which is like the GM, lay out the entire map and put all the little locked door tiles, all the cards in all the rooms. So as a player, you would see like, oh, we probably need to go there. You wouldn't fucking know that. Like if you're really playing into that, like, I mean, it's a board game, so whatever. But if you're really playing into the character, like you wouldn't know that there's 4 rooms down this hallway and the last one's locked. But you can see that there's the lock card there. In second edition, what they did was it's an app-driven game. So essentially it's all players together working against the story. But they would start with 1 room tile. That's it. And then as you explore the doors in that room, it may reveal other tiles and the map lays itself out. Love that. That's fantastic. Yeah. I think that's a good way to do it. So that you do, like you guys were saying, have an orientation of like, yes, there is a door there. There's a way here, but it's not all laid out before you for you to kind of just see it. Like don't tell, be able to kind of show it and not just have to feed it to your players, like shoveling information in their mouth. So
it depends on what you're up to, I suppose, on that one.
Sure.
Combat heavy, definitely maps are very nice. I've had some GMs that go hard and, they build little taverns and stuff that you can go in. And you're like, oh, cool. Now we're going to do a little tavern scene. And you smash up the tavern map. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's crazy? There's some wild map generator, map maker maps online where you basically have all those tiles you can put in. Okay, I'm gonna do a castle, and you generate all these little tiles. There's so many different cool map generators nowadays, for sure.
Yeah, I've used Incarnate, Inkarnate. Incarnate is a great map maker. You can make it to be like full continent view. You could make it to be room view. It's very good. I've used it for campaigns for 40K and Age of Sigmar. It's good.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. I'll pull it up on the for anyone watching here. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, like these kind of maps can be so cool for sure. Like city maps would be useful. Like if we were in that kind of situation, where the hell are we in this city? Like, very cool.
And Alpha Primus asks, like, would you want a map or actual 3D scenery? I think that depends. I think, like, do you have all the scenery to create for that section? If so, sure, use it. If not, I think scenery is fucking expensive. Like terrain's so expensive. Like it's hard to do that. So use what you've got and get creative. If you've got a Pringles can and like that's a tower, so that's where the tower is, and like you've got your phone, like cool, that's like a bunker. Like sure, man, do that. I mean, you guys remember when we were like when you started into the hobby and you were using like blankets as like hills and books as like rooms and like fucking Pringle can towers? Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, imagination for sure. Yeah. You can definitely get away with a lot. You can fill in a lot of blanks with your imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking cool. I had a when we did the Eternal Horizon RPG, I had a table, and in the center of it, I cut in like a 60-inch touchscreen TV. So the concept was I was going to pull up maps on this flat screen TV that was like cut into the table, so everyone was sitting around and looking at it, and they could touch it. And then the concept was they were able to move their models and stuff on the digital screen and all that. But I didn't quite get it fully set up to that point. But I did pull up maps and images and all that kind of fun stuff. And there's some great apps too that are worth looking at for, everyone can download the same app, have the same map that you then upload to everyone. Lots of cool ways, man.
Yeah.
If you're really a masochist, you can always try to Photoshop your own map from scratch.
Yeah.
I having done that, I would not recommend it, but
all right. Well, let's wrap this up. I have one more proposal for you to kind of fester on. Do you remember the game Pirate Borg?
I love it. I love Pirate Borg.
What if we did some freebooters? Maybe there's some Dark Elder, Kabalite, maybe there's some Corsairs. Maybe we just do a quick little 3-off freebooters. Pirate Borg.
Ooh, okay. I love that. Pirate Borg, for those who don't know, Pirate Borg is like a sister game of Mork Borg. It's created by a company called Limithron. I'm forgetting the gentleman's name who created it, but he's fantastic. And it's if you think Pirate Borg, the book, like if you can go find it, it's amazing, is cool. Look at if you thought Mork Borg, the book was cool, Pirate Borg is like almost double the size in pages and fucking like lore heavy and rad. It's very cool. So I'm down.
Okay. Well, that's all I need to hear. We'll be in touch. My people will be in touch with your people. And then, they'll make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pirate Borg? Yeah, no, I've always wanted to play like a freebooter orc type one, but maybe Gerald will sneak a little dwarf in there. Who knows what kind of characters we'll come up with.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's all for this episode. It was fun. I hope you guys all enjoyed these RPGs. I know some people are saying we need to do a once a month RPG that just is kind of ongoing that we're doing. So maybe that's an option, I I don't think that'll be the freebooter one, but we'll be in the talks about what we get up to, because I love that idea. We're already meeting up. Let's do an RPG together. So up
Say
next
less.
is
Say less. I'm in. I'm done. I'm in. I'm so done. It's perfect.
all right. He said we'll end it there.